Hi, welcome to the Shelley Studio. Today we are back at the 100-day project. What day are we on? I was trying to remember. It's the rock day. Okay, this is day number 10. So back on February 22nd, I believe. And I picked up this rock, and I've wanted to do a rock, and I had started one that you'll see 2 or 3 down the line, and it had to dry. So I pulled out this rock, and I decided I wanted to wind it with something, and so I've got this gold wire that I've had forever, and I just grabbed this silver colored washer, and I'm trying to secure it to the rock and to make it look nice. But it's, yeah. I'm sure people that make jewelry and deal with wire all the time are like, that is not how you do that. It would look so much better if you did this instead. But I was just trying to make it work. So I'm threading it through the hole and then wrapping it around the back, and there. Now it's attached. I didn't make you watch the whole thing because it was a little bit of a struggle. And I am going through my jelly prints now to figure out which one I want to use on this. Might be a tad busy, but I wanted to use this particular page. So, just eyeballing, now that I'm recording this, I'm on day 20, I want to say, or something like that. I'm really behind in the editing of the videos, but I think I figured out a way to make sure my tears are square. So you'll see that in future videos, how I am doing it now. Because I just can't eyeball straight. And yeah, I'm sitting down. I'm not standing over the top of it, so that's part of the problem. But they don't have to be perfectly straight, right? I think even though I'm doing them a different way, they're still not perfectly straight tears. Anyway, alright. So I've got the background, and I put that little extra piece on the top because that was a light spot on the print. And then I wanted some sort of framing device around the rock. And so I've got this, it's really thin. I think it's tissue paper. And trying to tear it with the ruler with just a little end is kind of hard. So it gets a little rough. Just pull it off with my fingernails. But then I'm like, well, I liked the pattern of that paper. That's kind of taking up a lot of real estate on there. Plus, you couldn't see it, so then I'm thinking, maybe we could frame it out. And I tear this out and I don't end up using it. Yeah, it'll go towards some future project, I'm sure. I kind of liked those black lines, but then, yeah, when I put it on here, it takes up the whole space. And then we don't see the background paper at all. It's like, I want to see the background. I was thinking of putting it off to the side. No. There it goes. There it goes. I was looking at that, thought maybe that would work. No. This one took a lot of fiddling to figure out what I wanted. So I do have this sped up quite a bit, if you believe me. It was. Okay, we're going to tear this down even more. And then I'm just going to tear some of this. There, then it will kind of frame it and stand out a little bit. I decided I would bring one of those circles to put on top so I don't lose all the circles in the background. And I had this weird sort of shape at the bottom, so I decided that it could stay. And I hunted for my small scissors. I don't know where I put them. I have 2-3 pairs of tiny scissors. Yeah, I don't know where they are. I've got to be in a project box somewhere with the project I'm working on. Or 3 boxes. Alright, so now I've got all my pieces and parts, I think, I hope. I can get it all glued together. Oh, and I've decided when gluing them on, the paper is tending to curl. And so I'm just using this. This is really old painter's tape. It's like stiff and brittle and it doesn't stick very well. So I'm not worried about using a ton of it up. And I'm just using it to kind of hold down the paper. I'm not sure which type I have. I've got a couple of them. I've got that I've pre-cut. I've got watercolor and then mixed media and something else like a Bristol type. I don't have them all. I cut about 70, but I'll need to get more paper to finish. I just like that little pattern on there. And then this is tissue, so I have to be kind of careful. Even though it's got paint on it, it's still pretty delicate. There we go. Now, we're going to put that circle on. Just have it overlap. Kind of a busy backdrop for this rock, but that's okay. I thought maybe if I unwound the back ends, I could poke them through and then twist it. So that's what I'm trying to do here, is untwist my wires. And then we're going to take this and poke it. Oh, something wasn't glued down enough. There we go. I'm deciding where I want it to go. Poked my holes. And push those through. And one is super short. And the other one's long. So I thought I could put them together, but it's being difficult. It was too hard. I gave up. So what I'm going to do instead, I decide, is to take that off of there. Yeah, I'm trying. It's not working. Give up, give up. Okay. I'm just going to take my Gorilla Glue and glue it on the front. Boom. There you go. So that is day 10, and it's got to sit there for a while and dry, and then it'll be done. Okay, and there's a little bit of a photo for you. Better photo on Instagram. Alright, so the next one is day 11, and this was actually on February 23rd. And that is when Russia attacked Ukraine, or the day after. Trying to remember. And so I figured I would be create something using close to the colors of the Ukrainian flag. So I had a yellow jelly print with a flower, just happened to have a flower. And at the point I'm creating this, I didn't know the sunflower was the symbol for them, their state, country, flower, whatever. But this one just happened to have a flower. It just happened to be a yellow, so that's why I was using it. And I do tear it right in half. Well, I want a full half because it's half blue and half yellow. I didn't want to do, the normal composition is 1/3 or 2/3. So that's why this is cut right halfway through the image, or not the flower, but my final piece would be half and half. Am I making sense? And as you know, of course, this is like 11 o'clock at night. My usual voiceover time. So who knows what I'm thinking? Whether my brain is working? Oh well, I'm more talkative. I don't know. And since I don't have any music on my restored iPad, I'm going to have to look into that. I don't even know if YouTube still does their music you can add to your videos. Used to have some downloaded, but not once I restored my iPad. Okay, and then this one, it's kind of, I'm thinking it might be rice paper. It feels kind of like napkin, but stiff. I've had it for quite a while, so it's probably a form of rice paper. And I don't know what kind of paint's on there, so I don't know if it'll bleed. So we're going with the glue for sure. Glue stick. And then, okay, so I saw somebody do this with their, maybe not this exact thing, but where they use that as kind of a paint from their Distress Oxides. So I wanted to try it. So I do this, and I was thinking it could look like tears, maybe, like teardrops. But it really, it just looks kind of messy. But, once you commit, you have to commit. So I was trying to make it look like drips, but, yeah. And then it dries. Could be like bloodstain, I guess. It's kind of grim. So here's my piece of nature. I think it might actually be sage, because when I pulled it apart, it kind of had that sage smell. So, and this was one I found walking along. I just saw it and thought it would be good. And of course the branches were sticking out every which way, so they had to come off, and I will put them back on flat. So that's, yeah, so that it will work for me. In the picture I have, the glue is wet, but it is, it does disappear. It will disappear when it's dry, but the picture I have, the glue is wet. keep fiddling with it and it causing it to fall out of place, but eventually it'll look okay. Oops, see what I mean? Just put a lot of glue on there and call it good. I've got it hanging up now, and it stays, so that's good. So that was day 11. This one's a long video today, guys. So now we are on day 12. And this is the one I mentioned before. I actually did this to this little seed pod thing 3 days prior. And then let it dry. So I'm like, it's really fragile, so I wanted to coat it with gel medium. And then, you know how you get carried away. Like, I was putting a thick coat on there, and then I'm like, ooh, I could fill the inside with the gel medium. And then as I'm filling the inside with gel medium, I'm like, well, if gloss gel medium is cool, iridescent medium would be even cooler, right? So I'm going to grab my iridescent medium, which is not clear. Yeah, and I don't really learn my lesson here. Like, yes, I learned if you fill a seed pod full of gel medium, when it dries, it's going to contract and close on you. So you're not going to see the little thingy inside. And because it contracted and closed on me, I didn't realize that iridescent medium is not clear. You can't see the little thing inside. I use it later on another one. I don't remember which day it was, a couple days ago. And realized you can't see the color of the leaf because of the iridescent medium. That's me clipping it away so it will be dry, and then here it is a few days later. See, it's all closed up. I mean, there's barely an opening, but we are going to make this work. So I just add a little bit of gold shine to the seed pod itself, just to, just a little bit of bronzer. Gussy it up a little bit. We are going to do something with that. So here's my packet of stuff for today. Got some browns in here. Brown would be good. I go with that. Yeah. I go with the darker one, and I'm going to use that left side, I think, so that it'll be nice and dark. And again, pulling out my card, taping it down. I want to make sure it doesn't warp too badly. Some of them are a little curlier than others. I think which day was it? Day 2 was the worst for warping, though. Slowly getting better as I go along. There's one coming that I used a piece of fabric on. It's hanging up there, but it's still curly. And trying to line it up, apparently. Takes me half a minute to do that. I'm trying to use the grid on here to get straighter edges so that my pieces don't taper as much. Trying. I'm determining how tall I want it. I think I decide 5.5. Okay. So that's going to be my base. And for some reason I wanted this light color. I don't know why. Probably because it was similar color to the seed pod, so I wanted to repeat that color in my piece. See, there's method to the madness. So I've got that, and it's just too much, you know. So even though I've got that, I'm gonna have to come up with something to cover most of that up. So I have this last one, which is, this is a gel print on tissue paper. Start tearing it, and it's like, doesn't want to tear. And then I'm like, this is tissue paper. Let's get out the water brush, or water and a brush, and we can do the wet tear. Yeah, that's gonna work. Just run that along and wet tear it up. This was an arrow from Gina B. Aaron's Designs, one of her stencils from her Etsy store. I haven't been on Etsy for a long time, so I don't know, you know, what stencils she has in stock or not, but that was one of them. Just trying to get a little bit closer. Doing the same thing on the other side. Again, it's tissue, so it's really delicate, especially when you get it wet. And I tore it, but it's okay. We'll use it anyway. You know, this glue stick is Elmer's Extreme. I don't think they make Elmer's Extreme anymore. I'm going to be sad when I run out of this, which I will during this project with all the glue I'm using. There's no way I'm going to not. But it holds pretty good. As long as I get the right amount on there. And I think this one I'm doing on the watercolor paper, so it's a little bit more textured. So it takes a little bit more glue. Oh yeah, it's definitely the watercolor paper. I'm looking at my picture of it now. It's very textured. And I'm just going to stick that on there. Why not? This time I decided to put the glue down on the surface and then stick this onto it. And try to line that up so the tear isn't too noticeable. There we go. And then the seed pod's just going to go right there. I decide my arrow needs a little just a little jazzing. I don't know why, but so I'm adding a little bit of the, I can't remember which yellow that is. Naples yellow, I think. And I'm just going to take that and glue it down. And that will be day 12. And of course, it just has to sit there until it's dry. So the picture I have, the glue is wet, but it dries clear. It's all good. And there we go. Yay. Again, here's the picture. The one on Instagram looks better. I mean, that is the picture on Instagram, but on Instagram it doesn't look blurry. On my phone it doesn't look blurry. But there it looks blurry. Alright. So the next one, day 13, my comment on Instagram is like, the picking is slim for nature objects. Grasses came from a parking lot flower bed. So now I'm just trying to find things that will go with they're heads of grasses. And I really like that bubble wrap gel print, the blue and the black. And then I really liked it. And in the end, you can hardly even see it. Just going through looking. I've decided I want blue, obviously. Blue is my color of choice most days. And I decided I want that one, so that's the one I'm tearing out for the base. And yeah, you see a little bit in the end, but not much at all. Which I'm kind of sad about. But most people that do stuff like this, or even do regular painting and stuff, they tell you not to be too attached to your first layers. Like, I'm attached to every layer. I can't be not attached. I pick it because I like it. I do it because I like it. And then, yeah. Anyway. That's just me. Trust me, my measuring gets better. You know those flat acrylic rulers that you, for cutting fabric? Yeah, soon. I don't remember when, but soon I'm going to start using that, and then my squares will be much more square. I wonder if it's called a squaring ruler. I wonder if it has that name, because it would work. And I like that scribbly paint mess. It was just cleanup stuff. So I like that one. So I want to use that too. Oh, and I've decided I want to use those feather stencils on the tissue, because they kind of remind me of the grasses. And I want the metallic. And I also want the tissue to disappear, so instead of gluing this stuff down, and I'm using the watercolor paper, I believe. Yep, watercolor paper. Instead of using my Elmer's, I'm going to use Gloss Gel Medium, because I want to keep the shine of the feathers, but I'm hoping when I glue them down, the tissue paper will disappear, which it does for the most part, I guess. Alright. Decided what I want. I'm gonna move all that stuff out of the way. Pulling my sleeves up. I don't want to get stuff on them. Oh, yeah, that took a bit for me to open that jar. It hasn't been open in a while. Oh, and this piece of bubble wrap gel print is on cardstock, so it's a little bit stiffer material. It's already starting to curl. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I don't think I even scanned a copy of that in. Would never look the same. Copy would never look the same as that. Okay, so I've got that down. Making an extra generous coat over the top. Now we're going to water cut, the feathers that look like they could be like grasses, right? And I don't even remember when I made these. I've mentioned it before. I have these packets of these plastic folders of different papers and things, and they're just gathered in some sort of random fashion, and I'm just picking the bottom one from the stack and using it and then putting it back on top. And each day I'm just grabbing the one from the bottom, and whatever colors are there is the colors I use. So I think one of these days I'm going to do a gel print session because I want to. The video for that might come after well, it won't come after the 100 days. That's too far away. What day are we on now? We're on day 13. Physically, I'm on day... What day am I on today? Day 19 or 20? Today is day 20. Saturday, when this comes out, will be day 21. For right now, this is day 13. Alright, so I've got that all glued down. Hopefully it will dry nice. And I did use gloss so that it would keep its shine. That's the hope anyway. And the tissue paper doesn't look like it's disappearing, but it looks a little bit less prominent once it dries. So now I've got poking my gray head in there. Sorry about that. So I've just got a piece of fabric and I've cut this, cutting a thin strip just to use as a tie to tie the grasses together. And it's blue, so it kind of goes with the color scheme that we're doing here. Okay, and there we go. We're going to glue that on. And then I think that's about done. So I hope you liked my videos. My projects, I mean, which are videos. And if you did, let me know. Leave me a comment or hit the like button. I appreciate any interaction you give me on my YouTube channel. And there's a link down below if you want to see them on Instagram. They are there. I'm posting the new ones every day, so I am up to date. I'm surprised, but I am. Adding a little bit of gel medium because I felt like the grasses were kind of falling apart. And so I wanted them to not go away. Anyways, I appreciate you all, and so glad you're out there watching my videos. And yeah, I should be done here. Why am I sitting here cleaning up? Alright, thank you all for watching. Have an awesome day.